And here we go to the top right in red. We have our Protoss player for Team MVP. His ID is
MVP Tails.
To the bottom left starts his opponent, the Casper player for Team CJ Entus. He was able to force this third game. Yes.
CJ Entus, hero.
Were you a Sonic the Hedgehog fan? Did you play the game?
Not really that much. I never had a console. I was always more into PC games. I played it at a friend's place, and I played it a little bit, but I never really had a console on my own.
Oh, by the way, we're going to have a cannon rush. Why Tails?
Talking about being aggressive. This is kind of what we talked about earlier. But look at this. The probe is scouted.
Did he see it, though? That's the question. And,
yeah, he must have.
And even if you see it, though, doesn't mean that... Okay, well, now it does.
Yeah, he saw the pylon.
He's canceling the pylon, and he may... Okay, well, he canceled the forge, and is basically actually just going to admit to being behind now. This is... Yep. Well, this is actually really bad for Tails.
It's really bad. I mean, he tried to go for a gamble. He wanted to start with his cannon rush. Then he goes into his opponent's base, is immediately spotted by the probe. Tries to at least use the one pylon. Then he sees, okay, the pylon is scouted as well. And like, well, I can't make it work anymore. Cancels the forge and is now way behind.
Tried to make a manor pylon to trap some of the probes, which actually would have been perfect if he hit it there, but he didn't. And I mean, there were like 4 probes could have gotten trapped, but no. Actually, Tails, I think he wussied out here, man. Now he's actually just being like, all right, fine, all right, I'll just be behind for the rest of the game, because I think if you commit to making a forge, you commit. If Tails is going to have to make a miracle happen to win this game. I mean, a miracle. Like, I'm not talking about an incredible miracle. I'm not talking about something Nestea would create or do. I'm talking about, like, you get hit by a car and the car turns into popsicle sticks. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what's going to happen here if Tails takes this game.
Well, he of course lost a couple of resources when he cancelled those two, the pylon and the forge. In total, he actually lost 62 minerals, and he lost a lot of time, which is more important at this point. The harvester count is still roughly the same as is the supply, but just the time that he lost when he tried to commit to the strategy, that's the really big issue here.
Yeah, the tech is going to be such a big issue.
But if you just look at the difference in the warp gate technology, it's actually not that much of a difference here.
No. And, I mean, Tails can make something happen here if he plays his cards perfectly, if Hero gets caught off guard by something. And I'm actually really excited to see what Tails is going to do next, because, I mean, he clearly has the confidence to say, well, if he sees my probe, then I'm just going to cancel. That is, I mean, that's insane to have that kind of confidence.
At this point, we have the Twilight Council now for Hero, so he wants to start with Blink, whereas Tails, with the first sentry, tries to play a little bit more defensive. Will probably start with an expansion as soon as he can, but Stargate once again.
Okay, well, this is one way that he could try to get ahead. He saw how successful it was after his pressure in the previous game, in game number 1.
But the problem for him is, of course, that with the Twilight Council tech, now there will be Blink, and this is like exactly what you want to have if you're facing a Stargate tech.
Absolutely. That's absolutely true. And he's going up to 3 gates here.
There's the Blink.
Yeah.
Being researched right away, so of course with the gas that he had, this was the only way for him to go. We didn't see any kind of Dark Templar play once more. And this is now pretty...
He's supply blocked severely, though. This is a big problem. I think he just killed one of his own units. He did. He killed one of his own units in order to be able to make the Phoenix. That's really strange.
Phoenix #1 is now being produced, but Blink is already halfway done, so this is a little bit scary. I mean, Tails has to have the perfect micro and perfect positioning if he wants to turn this around.
Yeah. In fact, he's going to be facing Blink Stalker aggression at his doorstep. This is a perfect way for Hero to try to actually attack. In the old days, in this type of situation, you go 4 gate because you're like, well, his warp gate research is behind, but in these days, Blink Stalker play is genius. He's not going to be able to, well, he may be able to damage this Phoenix further, but I don't think he should worry about it because it's only 1, and now he's going to go for the attack.
Yeah. The other sentries, of course, he doesn't have an observer, he's just now building his robotics facility.
All it takes is 1 blink, and then he will have vision into the main base. And that's all it's all he's going to need to win.
And Blink is now done. Blink is done, and here we go. Blink's up, takes the rest of the units, and this is basically already it. If not for a miracle, Tails will lose this game. He's losing the sentries already. There are too many Stalkers. Another force field traps the Stalkers here, but just the sentries that he's already lost. This is so much gas.
So much gas, and now how he's going to use these Phoenixes is very difficult. Hero actually not deciding to continue the attack in the main base, which I like because the defensive warp in was something that was going to be a problem, but
he just waits for the Observer now. His robotics is done, so he can use the Observer and then he can blink on the high ground. Actually, he doesn't even wait for it. He goes in right away.
Yeah, he's just going to dodge the Zealots, taking a few hits because of the Phoenixes, and he can just target down the Stalker. He needs to be a little bit more careful, though. And just blink that Stalker out. Nice, kills the Stalker of his opponent first. And Tails is still holding on here, actually.
Tails still holding on, but Tails lost a lot more resources already than Hero. And the Observer is now being built, and then he can really make good use of this high ground advantage. And we also have a one probe in position for Hero to actually transition into an expansion.
Yeah. Nice, this is how he needs to do it. Blink the Stalkers back individually and fight the Zealots on the ground. Not try to blink in, because when he blinks in, he takes too much damage from the Zealots. And now Tails is really running out of time. He doesn't have a robotics, so he's not going to be able to get Immortals out. Look at this gas.
Tails is definitely holding on a little bit better than I thought, but at this point things are looking very grim. He lost so many resources. He's now up against a lot of Stalkers, 12 in total. He only has 4 or 5 of his own, and he's trying to make this work, but it's really oh so hard. Now the individual blinks by Hero, really well done. Nice micro here. And yes, he has to be careful against the Phoenixes, but just look at how much damage he deals to his opponent. And now the Observer is coming into play as well. Yeah. Can pick up the pylon here.
He's just got so many more options with the Observer. He doesn't have to be as cautious. He can pick this pylon off from the low ground, which means no more warp-ins from Tails. He's going to have to make another pylon.
Supply blocked as well.
And nice micro with the Phoenixes, but eventually he will start to lose some of these Zealots. Good concave as well. I don't think Hero should actually try to fight like this when he's got the Observer. He doesn't need to.
Hero's trying to bully his way up the ramp. He has 9 to 6 Stalkers, but the Phoenixes, of course, is something that he has to figure in as well.
Yeah, this is really weird. I didn't like that at all. He's got the ability to make a Nexus now, and
he should, because he has to wait for the next warp. And I mean, at this point, he can't transition. He has 31 harvests against 27. Either fully commit to this or build a Nexus.
Yeah, he's got the minerals. I really would like to see him do it because he doesn't have the gas to continue producing the Stalkers at this rate anymore. He's really trying to break up. He's trying to fight this the worst way possible. There's no more Zealots, which means this is not how you should be fighting this.
Nice blinks, though. He has really nice blinks here, and they definitely work in his favor. But yes, if he doesn't build the Nexus, he really wants to finish this now.
If he blinks into the main base, he can do a lot better with this. But he's picking off the Zealot now, damaging the Stalkers again with Blink. I mean, this makes it so the concave is a little bit less important, but
he can just use the Observer, blink at the cliff to the left, and then wait for the cooldown to be ready, and then move in. Then he has a lot of surface area. He can run away. That's the best position for him to be in, but right now he's just trying to fight at the ramp, and there's no real reason to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, against a mostly Zealot force, it's perfect to do that, because the Zealots funnel in and then you blink back, but against the pure Stalker force of Tails with Phoenix support, that's just not smart.
And the concave on top of the ramp, so definitely a little bit of a weird decision here, but now he transitions into an expansion, builds additional Immortals, but he still could do a lot of damage in the main base if he just would use his Observer properly.
Yeah, he's clearly a little bit nervous about it. Okay, now he goes, but a misblink again, and he's going to pick off a Phoenix using the pathing of his opponent against him, and gets out.
Yeah. I mean, at least he kills the Phoenix, and Tails, yes, Hero could have done this a little bit better, but Tails is still so far behind. He doesn't have the robotics, he doesn't have the Twilight Council, and he just doesn't have anything at all. The expansion for Hero will be ready in just a few seconds. Another Phoenix dies, and here we go, finally making good use of his blink and exploiting his advantages.
Exactly, he's going to pick off a Sentry here and get out. Almost gets it, but either way, it's fine. Uses a Guardian Shield, gets out, loses nothing. Only shields.
Yeah, he makes sure Tails cannot do anything. He can't take an expansion. Hero has now his expansion, therefore a lot better economy. He's producing double probe, and Tails is just trying to play catch up, and this is not working in his favor because he doesn't have the time to actually pull it off.
And now the Twilight Council of Tails goes up because he knows, he needs the counter blink, but it's going to be an issue of money and economy and resources.
Yeah, Tails is far behind. I mean, we mentioned this in the game, and guys, if you just look at the supply, that might be a little bit misleading, but just the position that he's in. The tech is so much better for Hero. He has Blink already, he has the Observer, he always knows what Tails is going to do. He has the expansion, and Hero is just getting farther ahead in this game because Tails has no chance of getting an expansion. There is just no way for him to move on the low ground and build a Nexus.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, he's got a similar supply, but Zealots are not useful in this case, not at all. They're never going to be able to hit.
And he can't even move out because his opponent already has the 2 Immortals, so this is not going to work. And we have Hero with the Robotic Spay. He's going to go for the first few Colossi. It's just the most horrible situation for Tails to be in.
Yeah.
Tails needs more than a miracle to win this game.
Yeah, like I said, man,
he needs a disconnect.
All the Stalkers need to turn into popsicle sticks, and they're not going to do that. They've never been known to do that, in fact, not even when there were a lot of weird bugs coming with the new patch.
There's extended thermal lands right now, the first Colossus. Tails is a dead man walking, and he knows it. Yeah. At this point, he really... I mean, Tails, if Hero makes a huge mistake, like really some kind of really horrible mistake, Tails can come back into this game. But at this point, it is going to be so hard. The army supply is a little bit ahead for Tails, but just the army composition is something that he will have such a hard time to beat. The first Colossus is now out as well. And yes, Tails can move across the map and try to make this work, but by the time that he arrives at the bottom left, the second Colossus will be nearly done, especially with Chrono Boosts, and Hero can warp in additional units. The overall supply is now completely spiraling out of control.
Just look at the production tab. I mean, you can see that Hero is doing a lot, Tails is not. He loses a Stalker here. There's no way he breaks through here. Absolutely none.
The army supply is now 10 ahead.
Hero's like, I'll kill these rocks, I don't care. That's fine. I'll give you the more opportunity to come through here.
The second Colossus will be done in a second, and here already comes the extended thermal lance. The range upgrade is ready, and Tails, well, he's trying, but he cannot win this. This is just impossible. Oh, snipes the one of the Colossi though. A little bit of a misstep by Hero here, but just look at the supply. It falls way too much. Those 2 Immortals.
If he blinks away, he's going to chase, and he does. GG.